Texan who walks into a bar in Ireland and clears his voice to the crowd of drinkers. He says, "I hear you Irish are a bunch of hard drinkers. I'll give 500 American dollars to anybody in here who can drink 10 pints of Guinness, back to back." The room is quiet, and no one takes up the Texan's offer. One man even leaves. 30 minutes later, the same gentleman who left shows back up and taps the Texan on the shoulder.
You haven't got one of those at home, have you?
Is Is your bet still good? Asked the Irishman. The Texan says yes, and asks the bartender to line up 10 pints of Guinness. Immediately, the Irishman tears into all 10 of the pint glasses, drinking them all back to back. The other pub patrons cheered as the Texan sits in amazement. The Texan gives the Irishman the $500 and says, "If you don't mind me asking, where did you go for that 30 minutes you were gone?" The Irishman replies, "Oh, I had to go to the pub down the street to see if I could do it." On the sixth day, God turned to the Archangel Gabriel and said, "Today I'm going to create a land called Canada. It will be a land of outstanding natural beauty. It shall have tall, majestic mountains full of mountain goats and eagles, beautiful sparkling lakes bountiful with bass and trout, forests full of elk and moose, high cliffs overlooking sandy beaches with an abundance of sea life, and rivers stocked with salmon." God continued, "I shall make the land rich in resources so as to make the inhabitants prosper. I shall call these inhabitants Canadians, and they shall be known as the most friendly people on earth." "But Lord," asked Gabriel, "don't you think you are being too generous to these Canadians?" "Not really," replied God. "Just wait and see the winters I'm going to give them." Okay, next act number 10. If you know the English language, you know that sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. And this next skit is going to show you exactly what can happen. The WC.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we present for your instruction and your edification a cautionary tale. Here is our Englishwoman, Mrs. Agatha Chumley Jones. She's planning her holiday excursion to Kingsgate Club and is registered to stay in a small rental cottage owned by our own Mr. Lowell Hardesty. Mrs. Chumley Jones is concerned as to whether the rental cottage contains a WC. You see, in England, a bathroom is commonly called a WC, which stands for water closet. Take heed, dear residents, as to what follows, lest you repeat the tragedy that is about to unfold.
Dear Mr. Hardesty, I am looking forward to my stay in your guest cottage, but I am concerned as to whether or not it contains a WC. Please advise. Respectfully, Mrs. Agatha Chumley Jones.
Now, Lowell was not familiar with British phrases, so he asked his friends if they knew the meaning of WC.
Hey, Fred,
I need your help. My renter wants to know if we have a WC. What is a WC?
WC, oh, watercraft. She must want to enter the regatta.
Thanks, Fred. That could be. I'm not really sure that's the right answer. Agatha doesn't seem like the remote control speedboat type. So, hey, Jim Rundell, my renter wants to know if we have a WC. And can you tell me, what do you think a WC is?
Lowell, everybody knows what a WC is. It's a peachy keen wine cooler.
Oh, thanks, Jim. But I don't know. I'm not sure that that's the right answer. I think that the Brits were more into drinking beer and things like that rather than wine connoisseurs. I'll look at this letter again, and maybe there'll be something here that can give me a clue. London, 7 Chapel Way, London. I know. WC must be a wayside chapel. Of course, England is filled with those pretty little churches, and the lady wants to know if there's one near the house.
Delighted with his decoding process, Lowell eagerly and happily penned the following reply to Mrs. Chumley Jones.
Dear Mrs. Agatha Chumley Jones, I take great pleasure in informing you that the WC is located 9 miles from the house. And it's located in the middle of a grove of pine trees surrounded by lovely gardens. It is capable
Of holding 229 people. And is open on Sundays and Thursdays. As there are many people expected in the summer months, I suggest you arrive early. There is, however, plenty of standing room. This is an unfortunate situation, especially if you are in the habit
of going regularly. It may be of some interest to you to know that my daughter was married in the WC, as it was there that she met her husband. It was a memorable event. There were 10 people in every seat. It was wonderful to see the expressions on their faces. My wife, sadly, has been ill and unable to go to the WC recently. It has been almost a year since she went last, which pains her greatly. You will be pleased to know
that many people bring their lunch and make a day of it. Others prefer to wait till the last minute and arrive just in the nick of time. I would recommend your ladyship plan to go on a Thursday, as there is an organ accompaniment. The acoustics are excellent, and even the most delicate sounds can be heard everywhere. The newest addition
is a bell which chimes every time a person enters. We are holding a bazaar to provide plush seats for all, since many feel that it has been long needed. I look forward to escorting you there myself and seating you in a place where you can be seen by all. With deepest regards, Lowell Hardesty.